Or, if you answer every call instantly, reply to every message in seconds, and drop everything for everybody, people slowly stop respecting your time. The world values what feels rare, not what feels unlimited. When you are always available, people assume your energy has no price. That is why successful people protect their schedule like treasure. They understand that attention is power. While most people waste their energy trying to be seen, they understand that attention is power. Approved and constantly validated by others, a focused mind shifts completely into building mode, where attention is no longer scattered across opinions, but invested into real progress. There is a huge difference between people who talk about success and people who quietly construct it every single day without needing an audience. When you stop begging for attention and start dedicating that same energy into improving your skills, you're creating a positive feedback loop that can lead to personal growth and success. Mindset, health, and financial direction, your entire life begins to restructure itself from the inside out. Instead of checking who replied, who noticed, or who appreciated you, your focus turns into what can I create today that improves my future self. This mindset slowly removes emotional dependency from external validation, or dashes and replaces it with internal discipline. You begin to understand that nobody is coming to rescue your goals and nobody is responsible for your growth except you. That realization changes your habits, your priorities, and even the way you spend your silence. While others are busy performing for attention online, you are investing time into learning skills that actually pay off later, developing consistency that builds identity, and creating routines that make success inevitable rather than accidental. The more you build in private, the less you feel the need to explain yourself in public, because results start speaking in places where words used to exist. You stop chasing conversations that lead nowhere and start choosing actions that move your life forward, even when nobody is clapping or watching. This stage of life feels lonely to people who depend on validation, but powerful to those who understand that real transformation never happens in crowded spaces filled with distraction, comparison, and noise. It happens in quiet decisions, repeated discipline, and unseen effort that slowly reshapes your entire direction toward what you once only imagined when you move from seeking. Or, nourish attention to building yourself. Your entire mindset begins to shift in a powerful way. Instead of waiting for messages, approval, or recognition, you start focusing on actions that actually change your future. You stop measuring your worth by who responds to you and start measuring it by what you are creating when no one is watching. This is the stage where real growth begins, because you are no longer dependent on external validation to feel important. You realize that attention is temporary, but skill, discipline, and consistency stay with you for life. While others are busy trying to be seen everywhere, you quietly invest your time into becoming someone worth noticing. You learn new skills, improve your habits, and strengthen your mindset without needing applause. Every day becomes a chance to build something meaningful instead of chasing meaningless interactions that drain your energy. Slowly, you start to detach from the need to prove yourself to people who are not even contributing to your journey. You understand that your focus is more valuable than your availability, and your time is more powerful than casual conversations. As you build in silence, your confidence grows. Or, naturally, because it is based on progress, not opinions. You stop reacting to everything around you and start responding only to what aligns with your goals. This shift creates a strong sense of direction in your life, where distractions lose their control over you. You become more intentional with your energy, more disciplined with your time, and more serious about your future. The more you build yourself, the less you feel the need to be constantly present in places that do not contribute to your growth. People will always treat you based on the standards you set, not the expectations you hope they will follow. If you allow unlimited access to your time, emotions, and attention, others will naturally assume there are no limits to what they can take from you. But the moment you start setting clear boundaries, everything in your life begins to shift. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about protecting your peace and defining how you deserve to be treated. When you respect your own time, others slowly learn to respect it as well. When you stop tolerating disrespect, manipulation, or emotional games, people either adjust their behavior or remove themselves from you. 4. Our life and both outcomes reveal clarity. Saying no is not a weakness or rudeness, it is a sign of self-control and self-respect. You do not need to explain every decision, justify every absence, or apologize for choosing yourself. The more you over-explain, the more you open space for others to question your choices. Strong individuals understand that silence can be more powerful than justification, and consistency is more effective than arguments. Boundaries also protect your mental energy from being drained by unnecessary demands, toxic conversations, and people who only show up when they need something. When you stop over-giving, over-explaining, and over-available behavior, your life becomes more balanced and peaceful. People who truly value you will adapt to your limits without complaint, while those who only benefited from your lack of boundaries will naturally distance themselves. This process is not loss, it is clarity, because it shows you who respects your presence and who only respected your availability. Scarcity is one of the strongest forces that shapes how people perceive value, and it applies deeply to your presence as well. When you are always visible, always available, or like and constantly involved in every conversation or situation, people gradually stop noticing your energy because it becomes predictable. But when you step back, focus on your own life, and stop overexposing yourself, something changes in the way others respond to you. Your absence creates curiosity, and your silence creates attention without effort. This is not about playing games or pretending to be someone you are not. It is about understanding that constant presence reduces impact. People appreciate what they do not have easy access to, and they often realize value only after distance is created. When you are not constantly explaining your life, posting every detail, or reacting to every situation, you are free to focus on your own thoughts and feelings. You develop a sense of mystery that naturally increases respect. You start to notice that less communication often creates more interest, and less availability often increases your influence. This is because people begin to wonder what you are focused on, how you are changing, and why you are no longer as accessible as before. At the same time, stepping back gives you the space to grow without distractions, allowing you to invest energy into things that actually matter instead of cold or instantly reacting to external noise. You become more intentional with your time and more selective with your interactions. Instead of being emotionally pulled in every direction, you start choosing where your attention goes. This shift not only changes how others see you, but also how you see yourself. You begin to value your own presence more because you are no longer giving it away without purpose. Over time, your reduced availability becomes a form of silent strength that communicates confidence, discipline, and self-control without needing to say anything at all. Many people stay overly available because they are afraid of being alone, and that fear slowly turns into a habit of accepting less than they deserve just to avoid silence. They keep replying, keep explaining, keep showing up for people who do not value them, simply because loneliness feels heavier than disrespect. But the truth is, loneliness is not your enemy. It is often the space where you finally meet yourself without distractions. When you are constantly surrounded by noise, attention, and temporary connections, you never get the chance to understand your own thoughts, emotions, and direction in life. Learning to or sit alone without panic or emotional dependency is one of the strongest skills a person can develop. In that space, you begin to notice what truly matters to you instead of what others expect from you. You stop chasing people just to fill a gap and start building a relationship with your own growth. Over time, solitude stops feeling empty and starts feeling powerful because it gives you clarity that constant social interaction can never provide. You become more selective with who you allow into your life because you are no longer operating from a place of neediness or fear. Instead of tolerating fake connections, emotional confusion, or one-sided effort, you start valuing peace over presence. This shift changes your standards completely. You realize that being alone is far better than being surrounded by people who drain your energy, confuse your mind, or disrespect your boundaries. In solitude, you develop emotional strength, self-awareness, and independence that no external validation can replace. You stop rushing into relationships, conversations, or situations just to avoid being alone, and instead you choose what genuinely aligns with your peace and purpose. Becoming rare is no. T about disappearing from the world, it is about becoming intentional with where your energy goes and who gets access to it. When you are constantly available for everyone, your presence loses its impact because people begin to take it for granted. But when you become selective with your time, your attention naturally becomes more valuable. You stop reacting to every distraction, every message, and every invitation that does not align with your purpose. Instead of spreading yourself thin across unnecessary conversations and situations, you start focusing on what actually builds your future. This shift changes the way people perceive you because they can no longer predict your availability or control your attention. You are no longer the person who is always reachable, always responding, and always sacrificing your own priorities for others. You become someone who moves with direction, clarity, and discipline. When people cannot access you easily, they begin to respect your space more, not because you demand it, but because your boundaries are consistent. At the same time, you start to notice that your life becomes calmer and more focused because you are no longer wasting energy on things that do not matter. You stop explaining yourself to people who are not contributing to your growth and start investing that energy into your goals, skills, and mindset. Being rare does not mean being distant or cold. It means being purposeful with your presence. You understand that not every situation deserves your reaction and not every person deserves your attention. This awareness allows you to protect your peace while still moving forward in life with strength and confidence. Over time, your discipline, focus, and self-respect naturally elevate your value, and you no longer need to chase importance because you become someone who is naturally respected for how intentionally you live your life.